Another headache, though, for the president and his administration, the gas shortage that we've been seeing up and down the East Coast because the Colonial Pipeline was hacked last week. I mean, I've heard from neighbors and friends all around my own neighborhood, plus, up and down the East Coast, that they're having trouble getting enough gas to get into their car. 10,000 gas stations, Lyndsay, have run dry, and prices, the ones that have it, are spiking to a 7-year high. Luckily, the pipeline is back up and running, but it could probably take days now for us to see a return to normal. And according to a new report, check this out, the company paid a $5 million ransom to Russian hackers. I think this is a dangerous precedent and also a reminder on how vulnerable our critical infrastructure is. I'm going to guess that this isn't the last time that we hear something like this happen, both in terms of, the hacking occurring and a ransom's being paid. But you got to think all the data that we have out there. We saw the Sony hack a few years ago with stuff getting out there. This should be worrying to every single person. And we're going to break this down with our guests in just a minute because, there's so much at stake. But remember how President Biden talked about pipelines? Listen to what two members of his own administration said about them now.
But the pipe is the best way to go. And so that's why hopefully this company, Colonial, will in fact be able to restore operations by the end of the week, as they have said.
Isn't it true that pipelines are more carbon delivery efficient than trains or trucks or other forms of delivery? If you could answer just that limited question.
Yeah, that is true. I think that is true. But it doesn't mean you necessarily want to be adding another line when there are other alternatives. But is it better than train and better than not? Yes, it is.
Okay, it's better, it's the best, it's good, but we're going to cancel the Keystone Pipeline on day one, right?
That right, let's shut it down. It's so crazy, Sean. But then you had Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm. She offered a solution to the gas shortage. Watch this.
And, if you drive an electric car, this would not be affecting you, clearly.
Yeah, just go out and buy an electric car, suckers. We told you so. I mean, that's not exactly the message people who can't find gas or get their kids to school or get to the jobs if they have one right now. That's not really the best message. I cannot believe how tone deaf that was. Well, joining us now to talk about the threat of cyber attacks, New York Congressman and ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee on Cybersecurity, Infrastructure Protection and Innovation, Andrew Garbarino, and North Carolina Congressman Dan Bishop. Gentlemen, both of you, welcome back. Good to see you all.
Good to see you.
Great to be back.
Congressman Garbarino, I want to start with you. First, I got to say how ironic it is that we're seeing the importance of pipelines on our economy after the president canceled one on day one of his administration. Unbelievable that they're now changing their tune the way they are. But I want to focus on the reports that Colonial gave into the hackers' demands by paying $5 million in ransom. How concerning is this to you, both in terms of how vulnerable our critical infrastructure is to infiltration, but also the precedent that paying ransom sets?
Well, we haven't been able to confirm whether or not they paid the ransom. They haven't said it yet. They haven't confirmed it to us or to the committee. But $5 million, from what has been paid out over the past few years, $5 million is a drop in the bucket. I think numbers are up as high as $7 billion possibly paid out over the past few years in ransomware on all these separate ransomware attacks.
Congressman Bishop, Sean talks about vulnerabilities, in our system. Would you say this is the future of warfare, and is our country prepared for that type of warfare?
Well, possibly so, Lyndsay. These do seem to be recurring. And we've got to figure out our best way to deal with them. But, I think maybe the bigger picture to look at here is there's always an overall symbolism, and it usually goes back to the man in charge or the woman in charge. We've gone from energy independence to mass energy shortage in 4 months. And can you imagine what the difference would be if President Trump were in charge right now? You would not see this reaction. And I think the results are symbolic, but they reflect policy priority setting. President Trump celebrated energy independence. He made clear that was a top priority. President Biden, as you said, canceled the Keystone Pipeline on day one and has prioritized the Green New Deal fantasy. So it just sets a different tone, and you've got to start there.
Congressman Garbarino, I want to get back to you, though, because what we were talking about a moment ago, I just think that I get the ransom part, right? But I do think it sets, there are other companies have been doing this. Publicly speaking, this just shows to someone out there, a non-state actor, hey, if you hack, you're going to get paid to do it. But I think the bigger concern for me is we've seen now one hack, which didn't really get that far from what I understand, has basically shut down our gas stations throughout the country. And I wonder, I mean, you think about energy, water, cyber attacks that could go into banking accounts, whatever. I mean, how vulnerable are we right now?
Well, we're very vulnerable. We heard this 2 years ago that from the Director of National Intelligence that they could hack a pipeline. Luckily, it wasn't the actual controls of the pipeline. If it was, it's not just about getting money. It's dangerous. You know, a hack could say that the pipeline is going one way, the oil's going one way, but they could turn it around and send it another way. It is very dangerous. We need to make sure we're working with private sector because most of the infrastructure is owned by the private sector. We need to make sure that we're working with them, that they are protected, whether it's water, utility, nuclear power plants. There's a lot of threats out there. We need to make sure that we can protect all of these different industries.
You know, and we think about these different industries, Congressman Bishop, but also as we develop as a technological society, more and more of our own private information is held online by various companies. So how concerned should private citizens be, Americans, about their information moving forward?
Well, I think Andrew's correct. We need to keep working very hard to work with the private industry to establish the right standards and so forth. But Americans are right to be concerned. You see repeated data breaches in private sector, but not just there. We've seen the SolarWinds controversy in the tapping into email systems in the federal government, perhaps broadly across a number of agencies. I sit on the Homeland Security Committee with Andrew, and I've yet to receive a full and complete briefing on just how widespread that is. So we've got to up the game. But I guess there's another part of it. You know, the Biden administration said, well, this is a private sector issue in the case of the Colonial Pipeline, but there appears to be an actor, perhaps in Russia, who did it. And we're going to have to work with our diplomatic power with nations around the world to see to it that there's no safe refuge for this kind of criminal.
I want to ask you both real quickly. We mentioned at the top, Liz Cheney was removed from her position in leadership with the House Republican Conference as the chair. You now have your colleague Chip Roy of Texas announcing he's jumping in the race against Elise Stefanik for the chairmanship. Congressman Garbarino, I want to start with you. Which horse are you backing in this race?
Well, I'm supporting Elise. I worked with her closely in New York. What she did for the Republican Party in New York, she found candidates. She moved mountains. We made a lot of inroads with Elise helping. If she can do that on the national level, it's just going to help us be able to take back the House in 2022. That's the #1 priority, and I think Elise, as head of the conference, is going to be able to help us do that. So I'm supporting her 100%.
Congressman Bishop, where you come down on this?
I think Congresswoman Stefanik is a very effective communicator. She's a solid member, and she seems to be the favorite. I think one of the issues, though, here is a rushed process to fill the position creates a little bit of consternation. We probably are at a point in time. I mean, I think the removal of Representative Cheney was best development for House Republicans this year. That's why I wanted to do it 90 days ago and was publicly in favor of that. So that's a great positive step forward. We'll get through this tomorrow, but I think it's just an expression that we ought to have a participative decision-making process rather than a rushed one that's sort of top-down from leadership.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you both for being here and sharing your insights with us. We look forward to having you back soon.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, guys.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.